In this training video, we'll show you how to work with the charge capture section. This section pulls together the CPT and diagnostic codes so that they can be documented and used for billing. I have that section open up now. As you can see on the left-hand side, as we're completing a note, we're going to see this charge capture section, which I've already selected and we have open now in front of us. You'll see that this is actually split up into a few different sections. We're going to focus in on this top and middle section. The top section refers to the ICD diagnostic codes. The middle section is our CPT codes, our procedure codes. Now, if we look at the top section here, first of all, we want to be able to bring in our diagnostic codes. Now, naturally, as we fill out our note, these are going to come in automatically for us. And just to show you what that looks like, if we go into the problem DX code or DX section of our particular note, we're going to be able to fill this out and show you how that flows over into charge capture. Now, if we had any new diagnostic codes we were putting in, certainly those would show up and have the new checkbox checked. If we have some existing codes we've used in the past, we can certainly bring those in, select the ones we need to, or we can select all of them if we want to. We notice this section here is called stable, and generally that's what we're going to want to use. We do not want to select or bring codes in by marking them as better, worse, or resolved. That can actually reorder our diagnostic codes. And when it comes to billing, that could actually have an unintended consequence or detrimental effect. So generally, we're going to just mark it how we want to between stable or bring in new codes. If we want to remove a code, we can certainly use the trash can icon. And if we want to document it that it's better, worse, or resolved, we can do that in other areas of our note. In any case, let's bring in these diagnostic codes. So I'll hit done there. We'll see that in the summary or preview of our note, those were added in. But let's go to charge capture. Again, just showing you that throughout the normal completing of our note, those diagnostic codes are going to show up for us here at the top. Now, if we need to, we can also manually at this stage put in diagnostic codes. So we could do a search for one by just beginning to type it in and click on it. That'll put it in our list here, or we can hit this search button here too if we need a more extensive search of a diagnostic code. So just know you can add those in here manually. Now let's move on to the CPT code section. Now this is actually going to work similar to the diagnostic code area where we can bring these codes in pretty much automatically. And that's going to come from our filling out of other portions of the note. So if we go on to the left-hand side under our procedures area, in this case, we'll select this chiropractic procedures as it goes in harmony with this particular note. And again, as we fill out this note, we're going to have documented a particular procedure code, as you can see here. We also have a evaluation and management or E&M section. As this is time-based now, we can also select that and choose a particular appropriate selection here for the code in minutes, and then it will get a prompt here, a number pad to select the number of minutes. I'll just put 15 minutes in here. So once we've documented, as we normally should be doing, going through and completing our note, we'll see that information entered in. But as we go to charge capture, that really activates it so it can pull it in to this area. You'll notice it's blank here. What we're going to do is at the bottom, if I scroll down in my window, we're going to see this extract code button. So I'll click on extract code and there they are. Here's the codes it found based upon how we've been filling out our note. And we have the option to bring in one or both, or we could certainly select this top checkbox to bring in all codes if we had many of them, or it'll just select all that are there. I'll hit OK, and we'll notice now our 2 CPT codes have been brought in. You're going to notice when we bring these codes in, there's a few things that are defaulted. For example, on this 98940 line, there are no modifiers as we have set up in this demo environment, and there's only one unit that just defaults to a single unit when we bring a code in. However, we can adjust these if we click on this line like I have. You're going to notice up above in gray, we can make some adjustments to our selection. And let me zoom out just so our buttons appear like they probably would on your screen. But we can change the modifiers here under this particular box here. So if we want to make this, or rather, I'm sorry, the units here, we can make this 2 in this case for units. And modifiers is just to the right of that. And we can start typing in our modifier and it will begin searching for modifiers. We can simply click to select that. But no, just like in other areas of iPatient Care, we can click the magnifying glass to do a further search for modifiers to use. So at the right, once we've made those adjustments, we can hit this save icon and we'll notice that our changes have now been saved. So feel free, we can make any adjustments as needed to the units and modifiers, but we just have one last key step to do. We have to link our CPT procedure codes to our diagnostic codes. Now there's a few ways that we can do that. I'll show you all of them, and maybe you'll probably prefer one in your general usage of the system. So one way is we can actually do it right from this window by clicking on a particular code. Again, I'm selected on 98940. And just like above where we put in the particular units and also the modifier, off to the right here, we can choose the CPT codes, rather the diagnostic codes that we are linking to. So we can just select them from a drop-down and choose which ones we want to indicate to link. In addition to that, make sure we would save if that's how we were going to fill this out. In addition to that option though, we have this button off to the far right, Link ICD Codes. Now clicking this button opens up a separate window and actually provides a little bit more screen real estate. So if we have a lot of diagnostic codes and procedure codes to do our linking, this might give us a little bit more easy visible room to see that. So again, we select our code at the top, our CPT code, and choose which DX codes this should be connected to. We could also check the checkbox at the top if we want all of them to be selected, or alternatively, there's a button at the right here, Link All ICD. So that's going to link essentially everything to everything. So all of the CPT codes, each one up above, it will link to all of the available ICD codes below. So in this case, I'm just going to actually select for 99202. I'll just select a couple options and hit done, just so you can see what that looks like here. We see those were linked. Now, one final way that is very easy if it's appropriate in your situation, we have a button here, and this does exactly what it did in this window that we just had open. It's this little chain link icon. Again, it's link all. So if we don't need to make any special selections, we could click this button, and again, it's going to link all of the available CPT codes, each one to the all the different diagnostic codes. So if I click that here, you're going to notice it replaced the one selection I had, and it linked all of the ICD codes right here. So that's it. We can hit save when we're done and we want to apply that, and we'll see those changes have taken effect. Well, that's the charge capture section. Once we've done all of this, this really lines us up well for billing and being able to bring all this data out so we can send out our claims. Thanks again for watching this training video.